What the fuck is up, everyone? Prison Meddler here, back with a reviewing every album series. Today, I will be reviewing every Arch Enemy albums. Just let me know how I do it, just like others. I review the albums and I rate it. And how I do that, I rate from 0 out of 5 being the worst and 5 out of 5 being the best. So, as you may guys know, I'm not reviewing EPs, compilations, demos, covers, or any live albums. I'm only reviewing the full-length studio albums only with original materials. So, as you may know, long wait. They're a melodeath band, or melodic death metal, melodeath for short, from Sweden. I honestly think they belong in the big four of melodeath, along with In Flames, Star Tranquility, and At the Gate. So, yeah, I mean, some people may debate, I already explained this before, some people may debate about putting Soilwork or Amon Amarth on there, but me, I think Arch Enemy belongs there. They came out before them, so yeah. Anyways, guys, enough long talk. Let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty. First up we got is Black Earth, released October 2nd, 1996, off of Run Again Records. Now, as you may know, this is their first album, and it's a start. The instrumentation is great and all. My only problem is the lead vocalist on this album. What's his name? Johan Leva, or Leva. I'll say Leva or Liva, I don't know. Johan Liva. I hate his vocals suck in this album, to be honest with you. He sounds like a fucking Cookie Monster with this like, no, stop. But as for the instrumentation goes, if it's like an instrumentation album, I would dig it. But I just don't like its vocals in this album. But then again, it's a debut album, so I'm not going to go harsh on it. So, yeah, it has some really solid cuts, like Bury Me and Angels, a solid cut. I actually dug the solos as well. But other than that, it's a solid album. The album is only 32 minutes, so I'm not going to go further detail here since we have a lot of albums to go, so I'll go for a 2.5 out of 5. If it's like an instrumentation album, then I could go for a 3.5. But yeah, I'll go for a 2.5 out of 5, mainly because of the vocals. So yeah, guys, it's a mixed bag. That's all. Alrighty. Next up, we got is Stigmata, or whatever the fuck name is. Released May 5th, 1998, off of Century Media Records. I guess this is their first major label album, I guess. I say this album is no different than their last album, but a little bit better. I mean, I pronounced his name wrong. Johan Leva. That's his name. The J is silent, I guess. So, again, they're a Sweden band. I don't know. Johan Leva, his vocals like with this barky ass Cookie Monster vocals, which is I'm not a fan of. Instrumentation, I say it's a bit better. I think it's more progression overrides, but I really can't say much about this album since the only main difference is the sound. It's a bit longer. I think it's like 15. I noticed the album had mixed reviews. It compares it to their last album, which I can see why, but I do think it's slightly better, but I can't really say much because it's definitely no different from their last album with his barky-ass vocals and shit, but yeah, I'm also going to go for a 2.5 out of 5. I guess leaning towards a 3 maybe because of the instrumentation and such, but yeah, it's fine. It's okay. I'm just not a fan of the vocals, that's all. Okay, next up we got is Burning Bridges, released May 21st, 1999, off of Century Media Records. If you think I'm gonna say that this is no different than their last two albums, well, you're wrong. I actually enjoy this album. I think this is where they find their sound. Too bad this is the last album with the original vocalist, Johan Leva, because he's actually pretty good on this one. He may sound a bit of a Cookie Monster at times, but not as much, not as bad as he did in the first two records. I thought he did great with the deep growl vocals and such. I think the instrumentation is basically well mixed. It's better produced for the most part in this album. So, yeah, throughout the album, it's just much of really hits hard. Well, really great melodies, really great solos and such. I really like how the way it turns tempos at times on a few of the songs. But yeah, other than that, guys, I don't know what else to say. I know I'm cutting the review shorter, but there's 12 albums, so we have to keep moving on. So I'm going to go for a very strong 3.5 out of 5, leaning towards a 4. I'll give it that. So yeah, guys, I think it's a much better album, much better improved, pretty underrated too from Arch Enemy, since not a lot of people talk about this album. But yeah, guys, I actually enjoy this album, so there we go. Okay, next up we got is Wages of Sin, released April 25th, 2001, off of Century Media Records. Now this album has a massive change. First of all, this is their first album with Angela Galsau, a lead vocalist, and their first album to have a female vocalist, and which, I guess at the time, there was some controversy about that by replacing a female vocalist, or replacing a male vocalist for a female vocalist. But, as for this album, it actually made it sound better with this sound. I really love this really raw production. I love this fucking guitar tone throughout. And don't get me started with Angela's vocals. She is a fucking monster in this album. But yeah, guys, I would honestly say that, I know many fans would say that this is their best album. For me, it's high. It's high. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's very high. But I actually really dug this record. So, okay, spoiler alert. No, it's not my favorite record. But it's pretty high in my list. So, yeah, guys. I actually dug this record. I definitely enjoy it from start to finish. So, I mean, here are the songs. Burning Angel, Heart of Darkness, Raven, Savage Messiah. Like, almost all songs are great. So, yeah, guys. How I'm going to rate this album... fuck it, I'll go for 4 to 5. I think it's a really great record. So, yeah, I definitely dug this album. Okay, next up we got is Anthems of Rebellion, released July 23rd, 2003, off of Century Media Records. Now, this is another great album. As we know, I think this got some little bit of mainstream attention here and there. I think this is their first album with clean vocals with the songs from Christopher Amott on the songs End of the Line and Dehumanization. I think the song kind of gave some band attention with the song We Will Rise. Definitely dug this song. I absolutely love this song, Dead I See No Future. It's definitely a hard-hitting anthem-type song, as well as the others. Despicable Heroes is a great one, especially for a 2-minute track. Exist to Exit, really a monster song. So, yeah, guys. I think this album is just as good as the last album. If not, I think it's better. I think this album is a bit better than Wages of Sin. I just really love the riffs. I kind of love Raising Hell with this album. So, yeah, guys. It's a really great produced album. As we know, it's produced by Andy Sneap, that's for sure. But, yeah. As for a music video, the song, it got some mainstream attention. Like, some of the songs appear on the Alone in the Dark soundtrack and such. I kind of want to make a little bit more details at times. Sorry, guys. I don't know what else to say. It's Arch Enemy is pretty a consistent band, and when most of the songs kind of sound the same-ish, it kind of makes it harder for me to review at times. But, yes, guys, I definitely enjoy this album, so I'm also going to go for a 4 to 5 as well. I think it's a really great record. I definitely enjoy it. So, yeah, guys, I love the production. I love the songwriting. So, there's that. Some people may call this a classic. I can see why. So, that's all I have to say here. Okay, next up we got is Doomsday Machine, released July 26, 2005, off of Century Media. Now, I noticed this album has got some mixed reviews, and I can somewhat see why a little. somewhat see why. I feel like the songwriting in this album is a little bit rushed at times. I mean, the production's still there. The vocals is still phenomenal. I feel like there's a little bit that's missing here. I don't know why. I feel like it's a little bit basic at times. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'll say this. This is another Arch Enemy record, since they're a very consistent band, I guess. I mean, the riffs are still here, the melody's still here, the solos are still here. I mean, I really love the song My Apocalypse and Nemesis. I Am Legion / Out for Blood is a fucking killer song. That's for sure. Again, I love Angela's vocals as always. So, yeah, guys, I can't give a further detailed review on it because, again, we have a lot more albums to go. So, yeah. I can somewhat see a mixed bag. Some people love it. Some people, I can understand why they put it at the near top, and at the same time, I can understand why people put this at the near bottom. I can somewhat say that a few of the songs are a bit cheesy at times, like, I don't know, like maybe Skeleton Dance is kind of a cheesy song, but fun at the same time, I guess. So, yeah. I'll go for a 3.5 out of 5. Not quite as good as their last two records, but it's still very strong. It's very enjoyable. So, yeah, I mean, it's a fun record. It has some cheesy moments here and there, which I can understand why it got mixed reviews, but it's very enjoyable. I dug it. I'm not going to complain or anything about it, so I would come back to it, so there's that. Alright, next up we got is Rise of the Tyrant, released September 24, 2007, of Centra Media Records. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is probably my favorite Arch Enemy album. Because you may know, if you listen to this album, you pretty much may understand why I would say it's my favorite album. I honestly think this is their band's heaviest album. I really love its raw produced sound to it. It's a whole lot heavier, a little less melodic at times, but it's like full of hard-hitting riffs and such. It's got some melody tracks too, like for the lead single, Revolution Begins. Blood on Your Hands is a killer way to open it, and yeah, man, I actually really dug this album. Like, I noticed, the lyrical themes on this album is a lot more personal, like, I think this is the band's darkest album, by far, their darkest album. Especially the lyrical content from Angela. I think there's where I saw her interviews, she says she was crying after she wrote some of the lyrics, because some of her personal thoughts and such. Like, I think most of this sounds like fighting towards depression, dealing with suicidal thoughts or such. But, yeah, I mean, it's like full, but then again, I don't know what else to say. That's what I watched on the interview and such. Like, I have to say, I can understand why. It feels like Angela has gone through dark times while writing through this album. According on the band's restaurant, she said, I experienced quite a bit with doubling vocal lines on the last album, which I now feel kind of took personally and vocal attack away. So this time, it's the classic one vocal track. No frills, no effects approach. I put a lot of work and emotions into the lyrics. Some of them actually made me cry. As I said before on the earlier interview, continuing on, most of them made me very, very angry. To deal with the pain and losses we cause each other, to balance these gloomy themes out, we managed to write some lyrics in vein of "We will rise," fight songs. There is not only suffering and justice in this world, but there's also hope, love, and friendship. And that's pretty much what this album is throughout about. So, yeah. I mean, as for the production-wise, it actually works. According to Michael Arna, the guitarist, the ultimate Arch Enemy album. To me, this sounds like the perfect mix of melody and brutality. The album is organic and an honest statement from the band. It's pure fucking metal at its absolute best, the Arch Enemy way. Producer Fredrik Nordstrom did a killer mix on the record. The sound is big and intense. I have to agree. This sounds very intense. All the songs are just flat out amazing. Production is great, even though there's sometimes you may not hear the drums very well, but it actually fits. But yeah, guys, I absolutely love this album. One of my favorites of 2007. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a 4.5 out of 5. I think this is their best record to date. I think it's very well made record for the most part. And yeah, Rise of the Tyrant, by far their best album, in my opinion. I mean, holy hell, if you haven't listened to this album, you need to check this album out. I definitely enjoy this album. Don't forget, Angela's vocals, fucking monster. That is all. Alright, next up we got is Chaos Legions, released May 30th, 2011, off of Century Media Records. Once again, as you may know, this is the band's final album, with Christopher Annett and Angelo Gossow as they left the band. Gossow left the band a year later, and Angelo Gossow left the band in 2014. As for this album, fine, I guess. Not really. Kind of disappointing compared with this awesome of an album previously, Rise of the Tyrant, to majorly downhill of a record. Now, as for the lyrical content, I can see why. I mean, I'm not really feeling it that much, as we know. I mean, I can give Angelo Gossow credit for writing the lyrics entirely, but, I mean, as we know, it deals with religion, animal testing, and anarchism, but I'm not quite feeling it. Now, yes, I mean, there's a few songs that I actually do like and pretty much enjoy, such as Yesterday is Dead and Gone, No Gods, No Master, Bloodstained Cross, as well as Through the Eyes of a Raven. But as for the rest of the songs, I just feel like it's really cheesy and dull. But, yeah, guys, it might say it's a bad piece of shit of an album. Not really. But, yeah, guys, I'm just not feeling it. I mean, I'm just not feeling the riffs. I'm not feeling the melodies. It's just extremely generic album, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I definitely think this is their worst with Angelo Gossow in it. Definitely the worst album in the Angelo Gossow era. So, yeah, spoiler alert, not their worst album, so yeah, guys, not a fan, don't like it, so I'll go for a 2 to 5. Yeah, 2 to 5 sounds right. Not a fan of this record. It's just very dull, and it's a little long, too, for an Melodeath album. It's kind of long, too. Like, the album is 54 minutes, which is pretty long for a Melodeath record, to tell you the truth, but yeah, guys, not feeling it. Okay, guys, next up we got is War Eternal, released June 4th, 2014, off of Century Media Records once again. And as you may know, this album has got some changes. This is their first album without Angelo Gossow, who is no longer in the band, as the first album with Alyssa White-Gluz, replacing her previously from the metalcore band The Agonist. And this is also their first album to have a different guitarist as Nick Cordle. And yeah, I mean, actually their only album to feature him on guitar. And yes, I noticed the band has also received some changes as well. Now, as for my thoughts on this album, is it better than their last album, Chaos Legion? Yes, I do think it's better than the last album. Because it has some really great songs too. Like, I definitely like the song War Eternal, As the Pages Burn, definitely As the Pages Burn. Now, when it comes to the Angelo White-Gluz era, I'm a little bit mixed about this era, to be honest with you. Not as mixed as the Johan Leva, or whatever his last name is. Not as mixed as him, but I mean, she's a really good vocalist and such in this album. So, yeah, I mean, as we know, Angelo Gossow remains that she is now their manager for now on. So, yeah, I mean, it's decent overall. I mean, I definitely enjoy Avalanche, On and On. I mean, it's got some really great riffs. It's got more of this orchestration sound to it. This album, it's one of those albums that they pretty much went to a very fresh start, especially with 2 new members in the band. I kind of like how different it sounds because, I mean, since of a mess of an album they released last time in 2011, the album pretty much tells me the band decided to go to a pretty fresh start with 2 new members. And it actually kind of worked. Now, as for the production-wise, it's kind of polished at times. I'm not gonna lie, the production is a little polished. The guitar riffs are still good. They're still kind of consistent, but I kind of like how different it is at times. I'm not saying they lack consistency in this album, because it's still Arch Enemy record, but just two different members, replaceable members. So, I'm feeling a 3 to 5 on this record. I feel like it's decent. I know some people say it's one of their best records. I strongly disagree. I kind of think it's overrated, but I say it's decent. It's not one of their best, but it's not one of the worst. I kind of say it's their most mid album, because there's some songs I may find filler here and there, but yeah, I think it's decent overall. I mean, it's a fresh start to the era of to a new era of Arch Enemy. So it's pretty much the start of their next chapter. So there's that. Alrighty, next up we got is Will to Power, released September 8th, 2017, off of Century Media Records once again. And oh my god, I am so disappointed in this album. I don't know how to start. Well, first of all, the songwriting is just the same as their last album, just more generic. And now I just don't like this direction where there's a few moments where not Angela, Alyssa starts using clean vocals at times. I'm just not a fan of this direction, and it's kind of dull. Like with the song Reason to Believe, I honestly don't like this song. It's just really dull and boring. I'm not a fan of Arch Enemy's ballad tracks, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of cheesy and just boring. Now, the only song from this album that really stands out to me is The World Is Yours. That's the only song I actually do like. I actually dug the song. As for the rest, it's just nothing but filler, unoriginal. I mean, it's their first album, even though it's their first album with Jeff Loomis. I really love Jeff Loomis as a guitarist, but I mean, they got another lineup change on this album. So, yeah, I mean, it feels like they try to continue off with their last album, but it didn't work. So, yeah, guys, I'm pretty much comfortable to say that this is Arch Enemy's worst album, in my opinion. I think this is their weakest. I mean, not only that, I feel like the songwriting is kind of rushed too. Even the 6-minute tracks, Dreams of Retribution and A Fight I Must Win, sound really dull, to be honest with you. Some of these songs could do a lot of trimming, to be honest with you. Yeah, guys, I don't really want to talk about this album that much, so I'm going to go for a 1.5 out of 5. I guess leaning towards a 2 because mainly of the song, The World Is Yours, and there is a very few decent riffs here and here as well as some melodies, but the majority of this album is just entirely forgettable, and I just don't really want to bother going back to it except for the song The World Is Yours. So yeah, guys, again, I think this is Arch Enemy's worst album to date, so there's that. Alright, guys, next up we got us Deceivers, released August 12th, 2022, off of Century Media once again, and I say this album is a major improvement. As you know, the final album with Jeff Loomis and guitar, massive improvement over Will to Power. In fact, I think this is their strongest album in the past 15 years. Their best since Rise of the Tyrant. I honestly think this is their best one in the Alyssa White Goose era. Her vocals definitely improved a whole lot. I mean, I actually enjoy the riffs and such, just like always from Arch Enemy. So, yeah, I really love the song Handshake with Hell, Deceiver Deceiver. I don't know what else to say. It's Arch Enemy being Arch Enemy. They got back stronger. I think this is the longest gap between albums. This is their first album in almost 5 years, so yeah, guys, I don't know what else to say. Major improvement, great hooks, great melodies, great guitar riffs, great production as well, but is it as one of their best albums? Probably not, but definitely one of their strongest in quite a long time, so I'll go for a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a pretty good album. Definitely one of their strongest in quite a long time. So there's that. Sorry, I'm not saying much. It's just, I want to get this done. You know what I mean? But I actually dug this album. Okay, next up we got is Blood Dynasty, released March 28, 2025, off of Century Media Records once again. Now, I've done a review on this about 2 weeks ago, so I'm not going to go full detail here. I'm going to go over a brief summary. I think it's another pretty stronger album. Is it as good as their last album, Deceivers? Not really, but they're still going out strong. I think they had another lineup change with Joey Concepcion, who is from the band Armageddon. So, yeah, guys, if you want to go my further detailed review on their new album, I'll put the link down in the description. So, as I may know, I think it's a pretty solid album for the most part. Again, the only thing I don't like about it is their covers, the Blasphemy cover, Viva Libre, which I already explained before. So, yeah, guys, you know what? I kind of changed my mind a bit on the rating. I'm going to give this up to a 3.5 out of 5, but not a very strong one, like leaning towards a 3. I'm going to give this a rating up a bit, because the album kind of did grow into me a bit when I went back to it a little bit, even though the album just came out not very long ago. So I'm going to move it up a further bit. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good album. So that is all. Not quite as strong, but still good. Alright guys, so that is my reviewing every Arch Enemy album. What is your thoughts on the Arch Enemy albums? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, guys, just as much favor for a favor from a friend of mine, I'm doing Lacuna Coil next as a return, since I had him do Opeth. Yes, Markapunk, I'm talking about you. I wanted to do Opeth, so he wanted me to do reviewing every album in return, so he wants me to do Lacuna Coil. So originally I wasn't planning on doing that. I'm just only putting that out as the most votes, but he wants me to do that as a return to him, so I'll do that. So yeah, I'll do Lacuna Coil next, unless if I want to do another review, every album on the albums that I know of, without having to go back to their albums, but it's a few exceptions. Maybe I'll go back to that to keep consistent, but hey, but Lacuna Coil, reviewing every Lacuna Coil album is still happening. I'm going to let you guys know I'm not doing worst to best anymore, just to let y'all know. I stopped doing that about over a year ago. I'm doing every albums from the first album to the recent albums from now on. So anyways, guys, that's it. Again, what's your thoughts on the Arch Enemy albums? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more content and all that bullshit. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. So, I'm out.